Hello and welcome. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here. I'm so excited for this mini training to really get you up to speed on a few things. So, earnings on earnings. What does that mean? I don't know. I just came up with it. No, it means something really important. It means that your money will make money. And I know you've heard people say that. So, let's get into it because I made $75,000 in 4 months and I didn't do anything. I didn't contribute any money. I didn't work for it. I did nothing. Okay. And I want to show you how that happens because you have to be intentional to set your life up so that you can have that type of income. So, housekeeping. You can use hashtag AchieveHer if you make any posts or if you want to tag me and you don't remember my name, which is Dr. Kisha on any social platform if you don't know my handle. And do stay to the end, but I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I do want you to get to the end so that you can learn all about the new program, the Wealthy AchieveHer. So turn off distractions, get out your pen and paper, and let's get started. Who am I? I'm going to keep this short and sweet because you likely already know who I am. I'm the 750K mom, but to go back a little bit, I'm actually the daughter of teen parents, all right? My mother had me when she was just 17 years old. My father was 18, and he went off to the Marines to try to make a better life for us because it was hard. My parents, my family, we didn't have much at all, but we had each other and we had love, so I always remember that. But I didn't have any inspiration. I didn't have motivation. I didn't have anyone to look up to just growing up. The way that I did, it was just difficult to know that there's a better life out there or something to strive for. So I skipped school a lot. My grades were poor. I just didn't care. I didn't have anything to look forward to. But one day I was skipping class, walking down the hall, and I saw this flyer that said Historically Black College Tour. And I was able to fundraise to go on it. And when I tell you that college tour changed my entire perspective on life. It's like my eyes were open for the first time and I had something to look forward to and to be in life. And so I went to college. I've always been persistent, and fast forward 20 years and now I'm Dr. Lakisha Simmons, and you can see on the screen here some of my achievements. And I'm just so thankful. But I learned that it takes exposure. And if I were never exposed to that college tour, I would probably still be sitting around wondering what my life could be. But now I've been able to take complete control of my life. And that's what I want for you as well. So here's some things you're going to learn today. Number one, how compound earnings work. Number two, how my investments grew just 75K, not just, but grew 75K while doing nothing. And number three, how you too can retire before 65, even if you don't make six figures. All right, so we're not doing excuses. No excuses, okay? All right, so objective one, compound earnings. What the heck is compound earnings? So it's interest on interest. So if you have $100 and you make 10% interest, so it makes $10. Guess what? The next time interest time comes around, now you're making 10% on the 110, not just on the 100. So your interest actually becomes principal. All right? That's interest earned on money that was previously interest, and so it just keeps compounding and compounding and accelerating. So here's another example. This is from Vanguard.com. This is where I do my investing. So if you start here and if you start with 10K, all right, so this green box, let's see, this is earnings. Okay, so the green is the earnings and the purple is the additional earnings. So this is a person who starts with $10,000. Let's say you get a big lump sum, sell a house, and you got 10K. You invested for a 6% return, which is nice because that's the average stock market return over all time forever. So that 6% then turns into this first amount here, which is right at about $600, okay? Right where the one is, that's $600 for the first year, okay? Now, when you start the second year, you actually start with an amount of $10,600, not just the 10K. And now again, you're going to make a 6% return. Now your return is $636, not just $600. Do you see where we're going here? And if you leave that money alone and never put in another penny, look how large your earnings grow to. This is about $2,000 in earnings off the same 10K investment. That's amazing, okay? So that's in about 20 years, 25 years, your money is not only doubling, but it's just making money on money, and you just never even have to put anything new in. So here I'm going to give you a little bit more background on the stock market before I show you how my money became just flourishing all on its own. So here, this is, move my camera over, okay. This is from Business Insider. This is the stock market returns, or S&P 500, which is an index. So 80% of the stocks in the stock market are in the S&P 500, all right? So they're the largest stocks, and they take up most of the weight. You heard of the 80-20 rule? Well, this is the 80%. So you can see these returns. Aren't they just insane? This is for over the last 10 years, okay? Now, I want you to notice, there are some years that it's low, 1%, 2018, 4%. If you go back further to 2008, you'll see there was a huge dip. Okay, so that happens. There are years when they call it a correction. But you stick through it, okay? And you only invest money that is extra outside of what you need to live on. You already need to have an emergency fund. So once you have an emergency fund, you're good to go with investing, as long as, whatever your financial plan is. And that's why I want to work with you, so that we can make sure you have a complete plan in place. But your money can continue to make money, just as we just showed in that last example, and it will multiply all on its own. You should care about this, because working is exhausting. And yes, you can make more money if you work harder, you work more hours. Yes, you do something to, get another degree, get another certification. They may give you another little pay bump. That's great. You can use that to invest. But we've got to get to the point where we can invest. All right, so 750K single mom and still going. How did she do that? All right, let's take a look at it. So we have investing alone doesn't fix any money issues, okay? I just want to be very clear. I don't want anybody here thinking that if they just go start investing in stocks, it's going to fix all of their money problems. It's not. So here's what I did. As a single mom, had to get my finances in order. The first thing I did was figure out what is an easy way to budget where I'm not restricting myself, but I have a spending plan where I know what I can spend. If I have a trip that I want to go on, I know how to allocate money to that, and I know how to cut money in other areas that I don't really value, and do it in a really easy way. I can teach you that. The second thing I did was maxed out my tax deferred retirement accounts. So there's something called a 457B. I hope you're writing this down. You may have never heard of a 457B. This may be the first time you've heard of it. But if you're a teacher, if you're a doctor, a nurse, anyone who works in healthcare, if you work for a state government agency, if you're a police officer or a fireman, you may have a 457B. That's an additional tax-deferred retirement account that you can use to invest in the stock market. And when I say tax-deferred, that means it comes off the top before the IRS gets their cut of your money. All right, and so it lessens your taxes up front. Now, I also wrote a book and used those sales to continue to fund my investment accounts, also known as a side hustle. And I want to also teach you how to write a book and get your book published this year. So here's why it worked. I had an overall financial plan that I created. I didn't put it in the hands of a financial advisor because I wanted to really be responsible for what I was doing. I wanted to make sure that I understood my money and I knew the different areas in which I could cut or increase, or maybe next month I want to change some things. I want to invest here, I want to invest there. I needed to know how the stock market works. I needed to know how debt works, how compound interest works. I just didn't want to rely on just saying, here, you do it. I didn't want to do that. So I had an overall plan to help me get there. I also invested on a monthly schedule consistently. People ask me all the time, how much do I need to get started? You can get started on however much the stock costs that you want to buy. All right. So if you want to buy the S&P 500, then you can do that. Let me just tell you what the price is around. That's about $430 to $450 for one share. But if you want to buy the entire stock market, that's around $250. All right. So if you want to just get into some long-term bonds that give you interest and dividends, then that is about $100. So there are different stocks that you can buy. You've heard of Apple. Right now, today that I'm doing this, it's around $160 for one share of Apple. Okay, I don't necessarily recommend or myself going into individual stocks like that. Right off, I think you really should understand the stock market and diversify with funds or ETFs. And I think consistently doing that, get your feet wet, and you can start building wealth, understanding how it all works before you start trying to pick individual stocks. That's just my personal preference. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay? I am educating you on how things work. Okay? So let's take a look at this. My portfolio is still working for me. As of November 2021, this is where I was and what I have inside my personal capital dashboard. And let me move this for you. I just want you to know that when I took this screenshot, it's from July 1st of 2022 and through November 20th of 2022, you can see there's a 75K increase. I did not contribute any money. I actually left my full-time job at May 31st. That was my last paycheck. May 31st, 2022. That was my last paycheck. Okay. So in June, I did all my rollovers, so I had everything fresh in one area where I can see everything. And then it was easy for me to better track everything when everything's in one place. But as you can see, I didn't contribute any more money. I didn't have any 401k money going in or anything. And just based on the stock market, it went up. But I want to point out something really important. Do you see the volatility here? You see how it's going up and down between July and November? That's expected. That's going to happen. Don't ever think it's going to just go up. No, it doesn't work like that. So in those dips, if you get a bonus at work, maybe you go ahead and purchase a little bit extra. But you want to get on a consistent monthly or weekly or every 3 months, whatever you want your plan to be, you've got to come up with that. So objective number 3, retire before 65, is a simple math problem. How much money do you need to live on? That's step 1, because if you can figure out how much you truly need to live, and don't say your salary, say, well, I make $65,000 now and that's okay, so I guess I need $65,000. No, that includes taxes, that includes clothes for work, or maybe you have other expenses that are specific, maybe daycare or aftercare that maybe you won't have to pay for. So you really need to sit down and think about how much you really need to live on. And then you're going to 25x that. So you're going to take whatever that number is and you're going to multiply it by 25. So if that's $40,000 a year, just for easy numbers, multiply that by 25 and that's $1 million. So if you get $1 million or close to $1 million, then you know you can skim off $40K based on something called the 4% rule. All right. that will allow you to just cover your expenses. And then that way you don't necessarily have to work a full-time job. You can continue to do side hustles, or you can focus on your own business. You can promote your book. You can, start whatever business that you may have always wanted. Maybe you want a dance studio. Maybe you want to make a film. At least your expenses are covered. Even if you don't hit the million, if you get close to it, you can use that and then supplement your income. Does that make sense? I hope so. I hope that makes sense. So here's why you should strive for financial independence. Jobs aren't guaranteed. If 2020 taught us nothing else, it's that you just never know what's going to happen, and you have to have money to fall back on. You just have to. Now, yes, the stock market goes down sometimes. So you want to have an emergency fund, and when you're living purely on your nest egg, you want to make sure you have 1 to 3 years of cash saved somewhere, whether that's in a Roth IRA that you can easily get out so it's still invested, or whether that's in a money market, But those are things we talk about in the Wealthy Achiever. But basically, it's something you really should strive for. But here's some of the problem that you probably have. You're stuck in a job you hate, you don't know how to invest, you're scared to take a risk, and you may even have debt that you're trying to pay off. But I want to tell you, all of that kind of can be excuses for not moving forward. I don't make enough money. I'm too busy. I'm not educated enough. I can't. And then what happens? More time passes. You miss out on compound interest. You feel defeated. You're not moving forward with your dreams. Don't keep waiting. Don't keep waiting. Once and for all, I want you to learn about personal finance and how it can work for you. That's important. Every day is a chance to be happy and fulfilled while reaching your goals, okay? Feel alive. I don't want you going through life thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't make enough money for this, I don't make enough money for that. This is the Wealthy Achiever program that I want to talk to you about. And I don't want this to sound like some kind of a sales pitch. I really want it to sound more like taking a class, okay? An educational opportunity for you. Just as some people go get their masters, they go get their PhDs. If you don't know about personal finance, at some point you really have to learn the information. And I want to help you learn it, okay? So it is a 4-week program led by me. Each week you'll watch videos, you'll do exercises, and we will meet for an hour each week, okay? So there's multi-facets to it. I'll walk you through everything, and you're doing it in a group. So everybody's working together to help each other, to support each other. And I'm there with you for the entire month. It's a complete personal finance program from budgeting to investing. It's not just, let me show you how to trade. No, because that's not going to solve your money issues. It includes beginner stock market and investing education, because that is how you're going to truly reach your wealth. Okay, so here's just a quick overview of the 4-week program. So we're going to start the very first week. We're going to dig in and find $200 in your budget. That's my goal, that within 30 days, we can figure out how to save you $200 a month on the low end. Okay, if you look at the testimonials, many people were able to achieve that. A lot of times you would be surprised how easy you can skim that off the top and like, man, I was spending this extra $200 or $300. I should not have been spending that. All right. And then second, you have trade wages for stock, Yes. No. Yes. We're going to do marry your 401k. Okay, so that is teaching you how to max out your retirement accounts. Trade wages for stocks, this really is just learning about the stock market, which you're going to do with Marry Your 401k. A 401k is just basically your employer hosting that brokerage account for you, but you still get to choose what you're investing in. Now, it may not have all of the options that are available through going directly through some kind of a broker or investment company, but it should have a good amount where you can still choose some index funds, some mutual funds, some bonds that give you income. So it's still the stock market. I don't want you to think a 401k is not the stock market. It still is the stock market. So either way it goes, we got to learn that. And then at the very end, the fourth week, we're going to celebrate. And so this is where we're going to talk about your FIRE number. We're going to calculate it and we're going to set it. And we're going to decide how much you need to accumulate to reach that goal. Or again, maybe you don't reach the entire goal, but once you get close to it, you can say, okay, from here I can now work part-time. Or from the amount that I've accumulated, I can skim some off the top and put down a really nice down payment on a house. Or I could go buy a car cash. Or, I want to take a bucket list trip for my 40th birthday. I need $10,000 for that. So the stock market gives you so many opportunities that I want you to be able to take advantage of. And so much more is going to happen during this 4 weeks because we're going to be working side by side. And so there's so many things that haven't even come out yet that will to help you. All right, so this program is for you if you need help figuring out your finances once and for all. You want a complete financial independence plan to look at where you are today, go through everything, and say, this is where I want to be. How do I get there? Let's say you need accountability. You need support. You need step-by-step budgeting help. You need step-by-step investing education. I can help you with that. I'm here to support you. And of course, maybe you want to retire before you're 65. This program is not for anyone who's not committed to creating their own financial plan. I'm not creating your financial plan for you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to say that again. I created my financial plan, and I can educate you on what it looks like and what's included in one, and we can work through it together. And this is not for anyone who is happy with year after year continuing to working. They're not going to seriously budget. They're not working to pay off their debt. And it's not for anyone who is looking to day trade or looking for options or crypto, because I am not teaching you that. Okay, that's not the purpose of this course. This is a complete financial freedom program. Options, crypto, those are advanced topics, all right? They are advanced topics and they need their own course. And there are plenty of people out there who can teach you that. That is not what this program is, crypto or options, okay? Or day trading. I'm not teaching you how to day trade. I did not day trade. I did not do crypto or Bitcoin. I don't have anything against those programs. And I plan to learn how to use those and all the benefits and cons and risk and all those. But I'm not at a point where I can tell you about those things right now. So this is what I can tell you. This is what I do know works. How you can set it and forget it and continuously invest and make generational wealth. So don't wait any longer. Click the button below so you can learn all about the Wealthy Achiever program, the next one that's available. You'll see all the information on the next screen. So go ahead and click now. Thank you so much for joining me.